Allow. Okay, hold on. Let me choose my camera. And what is going on with this? Yo, this is wow. That had changed my orientation or something. This is not cool. Let me figure out what's going on with my orientation, fellas. I got, yo, what is going on with this? Uh, Let me refresh real quick. To operate properly. There we go. Yeah, damn. Let me check my mic. All right, yeah, we got that's cool. My camera. All right, we good now. All right, what's happening, people? Yeah, we good. I ain't got my wax in here, but anyway, we're gonna have to do. Let me see. I got some paper towels though. Yeah, I got some reason. Mm. I got some in my eye, man. Anyway, glad to get to it. All right, feeling better. All right. Yeah. We good. Okay, tonight's show. Nothing is new under the sun. What's happening, my people? What's going on with you? Yeah. Oh shit. I don't like that. Hold on. I got something for that ass. Yep. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that cleared that up real good. Okay. All right. Anyway, for real. Okay, let me get my graphics straight. Man, I had a little time, trying to, start this show. I'm glad that it came out right. That's always good, of course. It's always great. Anyway, yeah, so let's get to the show. Nothing is new under the sun. Is anything really new or is everything recycled? I want to show you how, first and foremost. This is going to be cool, right? Because I'm going to show you how people, there's a lot of information that you can gather from just looking around and having an inquisitive brain and understanding how, a lot of things that are older than anything you've ever known that still exists right here in plain sight. You know, take it for instance, what things people have done. This is called the book. This is the book. I know if you go and check out the post, you're going to see this book because this book right here is literally the ultimate guide to rebuilding civilization. What covers it covers medicine, it covers how to make fire, how to find water, edible and incredible plants. It talks about medicine, healing herbs, and soap baths. Talks about break, burns, wounds, penicillin, surgery tools, and even anatomy and talks about blood. Also talks about plants and animals, food, materials, tools, building, mechanics, optics, electricity, sailing, aviation, industry, military, everyday life, word, art, music, human games. Human games, decadence, a delicatessen, delicatessen, things like we're talking sushi, noodles, fast food, soft drinks, alcohol, cocktails, decadencies, desserts, and molecular geometry, things like that. Also, satiety. See, it also talks about the first things, how to get fire. How do you make fire? How do you, get into those type of methods? And it also gives you a nice illustration. If you take a look here, nice illustration of how you do such actions. It's a wonderful book. Great. things to have and behold in your hands. How to find water, and it literally is by the numbers. Edible, incredible plants. Rope, how to make rope and how to yield things. You know what I'm saying? How to take plants and how to make rope. And strong mechanisms in order to fetch things and gather things that your hands can't reach. How to make ladders, bridges, simple tools, clubs to keep your hands from breaking and being jacked up. You want to have the right tools. You understand what I'm saying? When you're distributing things, simple housing techniques and how to build houses to shield yourself from animals and different specific types of things. No matter what terrain you live on, you got to be able to understand the terrain that you are existing in. You got to protect yourself from the different types of elements. So you got soaps and things to keep yourself clean. Medicine, that's extremely important. Steam baths, breaks, burns, and wounds. Penicillin, like I was telling you, surgical tools. So surgical tools. So a lot of things are not just about, entertainment. It's about education. But this is my type of entertainment, understanding and how to anatomy and blood and how to tie trinkets and how to look at check this out. How you understand the different types of order of blood, even. So you want a book that has those type of understandings, but these things have been around since the beginning of times. Since the beginning of times. So you check about the Olmec world. A lot of relics and things of that nature have been extremely destroyed, and a lot of things have been recarved, and some things have stayed cool, just like jaguars. So jaguar culture and jaguar ancestry, from the very first scholars have generally agreed that the Olmec symbols centered on a jaguar coat with the so-called word jaguars in a corollary, the perpendicular combination of infantile and feline features known as the jaguar babyface motif among the perimeter distinguished characteristics of the Olmec style. But there were a little consensus to the actual meant by the jaguar coat and even the jaguar. Did the Olmec have the jaguar god? Did they actually consider themselves the jaguar children to borrow with the title Code 1965 Museum of Primitive Art Book of the genetic rather than the symbolic sense? Stirring suggested as much basing in the conjure of the monumental but badly damaged and the fragmentary stone sculptured the Portro Novo, he assumed, depicted a jaguar copulating with a human female, but now interpreted quite differently by other scholars, including myself. We do, in fact, in the area of the jaguar and progenitor among the several Amazonian societies who regarded themselves the jaguar people, descendants from the feline ancestors, according to Raquel Domatov, the Chibachan-speaking Koji of Colombia, are the people of the jaguar. Their lands and the lands of the jaguar, their ancestors are the jaguar people. And in the Konji action and the myth, the long series of the jaguar people were born in the universal mother. The first jaguar people were animal and human at the same time and could change at will from one or the other. Jaguar originated in the protection of all foods, plants, and cultivations. They were the instrumental in the end of the present world. Just as Jaguar caused the destruction of the first creation of the Central Mexican myth, the four sons that preceded in the present creation, nevertheless, the Conji respected the jaguar not as a menace, but as a essential life force. You have to know your history. You have to know the beauty. You have to know the understanding. So a lot of these, it's just beautiful history. You got to take a look at this. Got to be delicate. It's a big book. Okay. Yes, sir. All right. Here we go. What I'm explaining to you is things evolve. The things that you think you know are the things that you really haven't even cracked the surface on. Because the more we understand and learn, the more we understand how much we just may not know that much as we think we do. But anyway, humans create new ideas or humans discover what already exists before them. What if nothing you think is new is actually new? What if everything we call innovation is just a rediscovery what was already been here before? It's already been here, already been discovered, already been, let's just say we rediscovered a lot of things as humans. Technology feels new, but it's just advancement of old principles. Fire, electricity, AI, it's all the advancement of the same specific actual principles, ones and zeros, coding, actually. Yeah, coding. We have coding. We are the sum of genetic codes. Yeah. Believe it or not, ones and zeros. Factual things that you can actually alter, specifically alter DNA in a person to cure sicknesses. And who do we learn these things from? You think these things are new? These are not breaking advancements in technology. This is just new discoveries of understanding. And if they didn't lock certain people out of those spaces, we would have been That's why. The reason why we're locked out, we know these things as well, but you don't see, we don't get the laboratories. We don't get to explore the way we want to think and how we want to feel. We'd have to make ways to do that by thinking. These things, you do not have to have a laboratory to think. You have to have a mind to do that, and everybody has one. So, some concepts are control of energy and information. That's all. The control of energy and information. Is it new or just upgraded? Yeah. Just because something is modern and new doesn't mean it wasn't effective in its pre-existing condition. The problem is the wrong elements were added at the wrong time or the wrong innovation was merged. Sometimes people don't use the best parts to merge or put together simply because they want to go the cheaper route just to make more money so they can put less into the product. That's a sick way of thinking, might I add. But anyway, ancient civilizations had knowledge we still don't fully understand. I think some of us do, but a lot of people don't because they won't allow the right eyes to see the right information in order to recreate. That's the specific problem. Mathematics, astronomy, architecture existed long before modern systems. These modern systems are only regurgitations of old systems and broken pieces that have been put back together. That's not innovation. That's trying to rediscover. That's trying too hard because you just now notice the destruction. You're stupid, inefficient, foolish, destructive, culturalist people have done to the planet. Are we progressing or remembering? I choose the latter. Human nature never changes. It never does. Emotions, egos, power struggles, betrayal, same patterns throughout history, recent history. Um, Tied to your usual things, manipulation, deception, false loyalty. You know, the problem is humans don't change. How can anything truly be new? Nothing is new under the sun. You can't make something new that had already existed. That's just like people that say, I discovered America. If you can't discover anything that when you got people like, who these dumb ass motherfuckers looking at? Or who are these silly ass people looking at? Oh, I smell trouble. They stink from here. They stink from here. I can smell them from here. They rotten. Smell like zombies, like rotten corpses. Yeah, all recorded. Think about this. Rediscovery versus invention. Every new idea usually builds on something older. That's just a fact. It didn't come from your mind. You picked it up. You took interest. That doesn't make you an inventor or a discoverer. You just took from who had the smarts, the intelligence, ideology, methodology, and the doer. And you took it. That makes you a thief. That doesn't make you anything special at all. I promise you that. But check this out. Every new idea usually it's all built on everything. Oh, music, fashion, cultures. It's all cycles. All cycles. Even if you're a Bible thumping Ecclesiastes, it will tell you nothing is new under the sun. Music, like I tell you, music and everything, even language evolves, but it's rooted in the past. That's why I tell you, people talking about, well, English was invented by whites. No, it was not invented by whites. It was invented by the inventors of everything, and it wasn't you. I promise you that it was not no one Caucasian that can even create something with 26 characters, let alone a character, if you really want to know the truth. But let's get back to the studies. Spiritual and philosophical angles have directed people's paths into understanding even what good and evil is, but some believe knowledge is already within us, and I as well feel that way. The more you learn about yourself and who you are, the more you can do one thing: always develop, always have strong fundamentals and values that you can build blocks upon, that you can always enhance yourself. You can always figure it out when you have the tools. It's called skill sets. Anyway, check it out. Learning is actually remembering. Are we taught or are we being reminded? You got to push yourself to those places. So the problem is the control of information. Who decides what is new? Who decides what systems can be repackaged of old knowledge and represented as new power? Regurgitations, remember? See, these tie into it's the truth and exposure style. Like, You got to have one God. There's only one God. It's Jesus. And all of this. Okay. Well, I beg to differ. There's a pantheon of gods. And you created, first creators of man were Enki and Ea. There were a whole lot of different creations of man after that. Some people existed even before the upgrade. Uh-huh. We have all existed. Oh, we regurgitations too. That's why there's a such thing as RNA, the remembering perspective of it. There's DNA and there's RNA. See, DNA is just, it's a compilation. DNA is a compilation of what you are, what we share, whatever. RNA is a completely, enhanced, remembrance. It's the way you create. It's the way you think. It's the way you orchestrate. It's the way you operate. It's the way you persist. It's the way you do everything consistently throughout your life, as far as what your taste is, what you like, how you like to live, and how you like to, you know, how you like to breathe. That's your RNA, your habits, who you act like and who you mimic. Because you got to remember these things of how you even act now. I got ways of my father and my mother, just like them. I watched that with my child. I watched that with my nieces and nephews from their parents, just to see them be regurgitated. So they get their own life cycle at a new person, a new being that is in combination with someone else, and they're basically living their life, but they're just like the people that created them. They're just, is that new? I guess, if you think about it. I mean, two can be true at the same time. Okay. Um, but check this out. Name one thing that is truly new. If you have material, they're always making everything out of recyclable material. See, things take new forms. How old is this planet? If you think about renewal, it's a completely efficient thing to actually participate in. Everything should be thought about from a renewal perspective, even you every day. Renew yourself. The planet does. Everything has a cycle. You have to participate into that. Nothing is new under the sun, including you, your behaviors, your attitudes, how you operate, how you participate, and even exchange with people. You're never doing anything new. You just feel like it's new. But you're too stubborn to understand what happened in the past. It's very relevant. It's very necessary. See, the thing is, a lot of people are focused on their false origins and their false concepts and their false realities and their false perspectives simply because they want time to start when they wanted it to. But when you don't have the complexion, it's never going to add up in your favor realistically, mathematically, scientifically, geographically, or archaeologically. You have to have the badge, the melanin. If you don't have that, you are the only thing that's new. I hope you understand that. And that's not to divide, This for you to understand. And you have to specifically put yourself in a place of understanding to realize that. You wouldn't exist if it wasn't for melanin. This stuff come from the universe. It's dark matter. Dark matter. Dark matter. Melanin. hmm Brain is melanated or melanated inside out. Information translates faster, behaves faster, as long as I get what I need. Things like that are constructive for my metabolics, my metabolism, even metaphysically, so that I can practice in a metamorphosis if I feel like it. So I can be Morpheus if I feel like it. But as long as I got dark matter within food, with an understanding, the type of intake that you need in order to exist and build and be better and to readdress, recreate, regenerate. Yeah. Renew, recycle. Nothing's new under the sun. Practicing in those cycles, practicing in regeneration, renewal processes. Also, what if you're doing that internally as well? Renewing yourself, renewing your mind, renewing your thoughts, accepting, appreciating, not just acting, but participating, appreciating, apprenticing, learning. You see what I'm saying? You understand where I'm going with that? Because when you learn, you don't lose. Nothing is new under the sun. You are here to learn. You're not here to play. You're here to learn. You're here to appreciate. You're here to understand. You're here to grow. It's the Willis Podcast. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I love you guys and I'm thankful. But I need you to share, like, subscribe. I need you to hit that share button. I need you to hit that subscribe button. And I need you to hit that like button. Do those things for me, please. Also, I would love if you tell people about the podcast. Go to willispodcast.com. Check out the merchandise. That's the way you can keep me going on, keep me running, keep me on air, man. So help me out, help you out. You like this good knowledge. You want me to stay on air. You want me to keep on spinning this good old king shit knowledge. Oh yeah, y'all need that. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Tune into the Willis Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's always a blast. It's always a pleasure. And I'm always grateful. So thank you. Thank you so much. So anyway, you know what it is. And this is my favorite part of the show. Just to let you know, the wheel is yours. Be cool, my people. Stay renewed. Stay up. Don't let them get you down. Peace.